All right, we've assembled one set of pieces for the major part of the staircase. There are two of these and two lower sets of stairs. They are right now just bones. The landings are on, and I've got some rope weight, which is really to offset the weight of anything hung on bars. We just have a mountain of these solid steel bricks, and that is so that eventually when somebody goes up the stairs and is, out on the landing out here, not only is the landing constructed in such a way, that's why it's so beefy, it's so heavy, and these front corners here, is because this lower component to the landing is in there, sandwiched, and so I wanted people to be able to go out. I didn't want this to flex down, and I also didn't want any of this to tip that end of the set piece up, because we want to have, a certain degree of stability here, i.e. extreme stability. It is a bit precarious, not looking. I mean, it's pretty solid as far as moving. I haven't been up all the way on it yet. I have hung on this here, so I know I have enough weight to offset at least myself. But once you put caster wheels on there, their point of contact is actually narrower than the width of the set piece itself. I think probably we won't have, a lot of times I like to have the ability to move set pieces with people on them. It adds to the magic a little bit, but basically there's a good chance we won't move this piece with anyone on it. I was originally going to leave the lower run of stairs all part of it. Then both of these pieces would have an L-shaped footprint all the time and be extremely stable. But I think we're going to leave our lower stairs so that they can be attached, but also removed, because these pieces are going to be too big to go out into the wings a lot or at all, and will have to be sandwiched to the back for a few scenes that don't call for these set pieces. So pulling the stairs off will be helpful in that way. Here's the other one, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what was done here. Everything was designed so that the 5-inch height of the caster wheel and the 3/4 inch height of the wheel mounting plate you can see here was taken into account, so that our final heights, final elevations for everything included that stack up, that arrangement. So this is what I pulled the walls in, stood them up, anchored them 4 corners to each other, then tipped that assembly over. Now as a square, it can rack back and forth a little bit, which is to say, it can go that way and this way and that way and this way. We want it to be perfectly 90, which is where we come up with these fish plates, basically. The casters go on there, but what I do is they're 1 foot by 1 foot square, then I cut it in half at a 45-degree angle, then I pull the center line out here from the corner with my speed square real quick, just like that, and just real rough. Everything's real rough. And then I know that I want to send my rectangular foot of these caster wheels, basically the middle of that needs to be on that line and not quite to the edge of the piece of plywood, and that's where we put these, because that means that the angle, it's misleading. Let me change there we go. That means that to look at it, the wheels don't break the plane. Trust me on this one, it's clear from my angle, but the lens distortion on the camera is screwballing it up. But basically, maybe you could see it like that. Yeah, the wheel won't jump out of the plane, which means when you take this thing for a ride and those casters are swiveling all around, you'll never see them kick out past the surface plane here. And that's because the next step, the final step in adding a bunch of strength to a construction like this, yes, the stairs and all of that will tie it together, but this bone system of studs here, I'll throw a 1/2-inch plywood on the floor just lying there, and I'll stack Luan on that, and I will rack this system back and forth until the square edges of the Luan are perfectly smooth here, and I'll stick those on, and I'll cover all these surfaces with Luan the way you'd cover with drywall, and then when I'm finished, I'll slide that 1/2-inch piece of plywood out from underneath it, and that will actually keep the edges of the Luan a 1/2 inch off of the stage, and so our piece will appear to hover and float. The wheels will never bump into the back of the Luan. It'll all be about a 1/2 inch off the stage, which is a nice big tolerance for some of these access panels and stuff that we have on the floor. Stick up, very negligible amount, but almost nothing. But anyway, we want to make sure that we have plenty of clearance, and that'll be an enclosed thing at that point, and extremely tough, relatively lightweight, but really heavy duty, really, for these purposes. And so we'll come back when both these pieces are rolling and show you how they are ready for getting covered with Luan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.